them careening downward, where they landed in a tangle on the rickety porch. Half of the damn lights were already burned out, the other half shattering. Perfect. Just like her life. Swiping at her tears with the handkerchief her aunt had embroidered, she flew down the highway singing the blues. Just as she crossed the state line from Texas into Louisiana, she belted out, "All my exes live in Texas," tossed her wedding ring out the window and waved goodbye to the state, and the man who'd ruined her life. To make matters worse, Ray wasn't simply cheating on her, but he'd chosen to cheat with the widowed women at the country club. Women nearly twice his age. What did they have that she didn't have? Other than money, blue blood parents, and class. As Ray had so unkindly pointed out. Hoping to put as many miles as possible between her and Ray before he meandered home from whatever whore he'd decided to dip his dick into tonight, she glanced at the crumpled map on the seat beside her with a grimace. The outline of Georgia appeared, triggering a pang of loneliness and regret that swelled inside her. 2 days ago, when she'd discovered Ray's indiscretions had spread from women to money, she'd decided it was time to cut bait. When she'd started packing, she'd discovered the diaries she'd kept when she'd lived at home in Matrimony, Georgia, and memories of her estranged sisters had returned. She'd also found that column nosy Nellie Needlemeyer had written. Naughty in Matrimony, by Nellie Needlemeyer, the scandalous Sassafras sisters. Once again, the Sassafras sisters have shown their true colors. Last night, the 3 girls engaged in a catfight in the middle of the Dairy and Donut Delight. Witnesses say the girls were fighting over rodeo star Blake Kincaid, who was rumored to be Caroline's secret boyfriend. 17-year-old Izzy, who was wearing a skimpy fuchsia halter top and a pair of risque short shorts that showed her butt cheeks, threw her hot fudge sundae at her oldest sister Caroline, when Caroline accused her of breaking into Kincaid's hotel room to seduce him. Middle sister Daisy, proud winner of the local cornbread festival cook-off for her jalapeno cornbread, who also had a crush on the star, jumped in to break up the brawl, but 4-letter words and fists were flying, and the 3 wound up nearly naked with ice cream and hot fudge sauce in places no respectable girl ought to have ice cream or hot fudge. Sheriff Harper had to drag them apart and got creamed with a slushie in the process. Dottie Sassafras, the girl's aunt and a pillar of the community, most known for her cotillion class on how to be a lady, had no comment on the arrest. Emotions clogged Izzy's throat at the reminder that 10 years had passed since that disastrous day. Thankfully, YouTube hadn't been available back then, or the story would have gone viral. Although surely by now everyone in town would have forgotten about the debacle. Everyone except her aunt, because the sisters had broken her rules. Suddenly, she spotted an armadillo crossing the road. Izzy had a soft spot for any live creature, so she slowed and swerved to avoid hitting it, but she hit a patch of black ice and skidded. Her car bounced over the ruts and slammed into a tree. Thankfully, she didn't hit hard enough for the airbag to deploy, but the front end of her car was crunched. Bertha, her beetle, had been with her since she'd left Matrimony, much longer than she'd been married to Ray. Her cell phone buzzed, and she startled, sweat trickling into her bra as she checked the caller ID display. Ray. Terrified he could somehow magically see her through the phone, she shifted into reverse and sped backward. Slinging gravel, she flew back onto the road. The box of keepsakes tumbled to the floor, her wedding picture, dried corsage, and garter belt spilling out. The map landed on top of the broken picture frame, a glaring reminder that she'd left home to find love and she'd failed. Or maybe it was an omen that it was time to go home. After all, she didn't want to spend Christmas alone. She could curl up at Aunt Dottie's and lick her wounds. As long as her aunt didn't ask too many questions. Never tell an outright lie unless it's to spare someone's feelings. Rule number 5 in Aunt Dottie's How to Be a Lady list. Except sometimes the girl had to lie to protect the people she cared about. Thankfully, though, her sisters wouldn't be there, so she wouldn't have to face them with her failure. And Ray knew the 3 of them hadn't spoken in years. He would never think to look for her in Matrimony.
You have to find my wife.
Ray Lapone slapped a pile of cash on Levi Fox's desk.
That's nothing compared to what